Okay, folks, hopefully you can see me or at least hear me. That's the most important part. You're probably not missing out if you can't see me, but you are watching and listening to the Cashman's Playbook for Saturday, January 21st. We're going to go over some bets here. Many of us, we got to know each other as fans of the Dan Dockett Show that aired in Indy for many, many years. I was a weekly guest on the show. If you don't know who I am, Dan no longer doing that show, so we didn't have an outlet really to get plays out here and talk about them each week. So this is going to be a good outlet for that. We'll do it every Saturday around 11 a.m. On Dan's show, we were 29-1 our last 30 game plays. So we're going to have the same format here. I'll give out 2 or 3 plays each week. We'll continue this every week going through even the baseball season. So we're going to do it all summer, every Saturday. If you want access to everything I send out to subscribers, become a Picks member at TheCashmanwins.com. We have affordable options there, well worth everything you'll have access to with the picks, computer projections, futures, access to personal plays and as well. So go to TheCashmanwins.com if you want to sign up there. And busy weekend of sports. We've got we'll go over the NFL briefly. I don't have a ton in the NFL, but we'll go over these playoff games real quick before we jump into college basketball. Shouldn't take more than 10, 15 minutes to get through this here. So let's start with the NFL. Really haven't been very active in football betting the last couple of weeks. I told subscribers last week that I did like Jacksonville plus 2.5, but I really wanted them at plus 3. Could never get that number. They ended up covering the 2.5 anyway with a straight out win after that comeback. 2.5 is a dog in football, just not a good bet. Usually, in my opinion, it's a bad number. So we did miss that. You look at this week for the Jags, they're at Kansas City Chiefs. At last look, we're 9.5 point favorites. Both teams playing really well here. Jacksonville running the ball well, opens up things for Trevor Lawrence, really helps him. Jacksonville also they've done a good job on the run as well, against the run. So they're running the ball, stopping the run. Look at the radar here. There's going to be a 50% chance of rain. I'm guessing it's going to be more than that by the time the game starts. It looked like I looked at the radar, and it looks like a pretty good system going to roll through there with rain or snow. 9 is a lot of points to lay for an NFL team, even the Chiefs. I don't do that. I don't lay points like that. If I had to, I could think you could probably get away with teasing either team here. You could tease Jacksonville up to 14.5, or you could tease them the full 7 points up to the 16 or 16.5 here if you've got another leg that you want to add to that. And I think you could tease Kansas City down to 2. But I don't have a play here on this game. I think if you want some action there, you could probably pair either teaser. I would probably lean closer to the Chiefs because I think the Chiefs are going to win the game. So I probably take the Chiefs minus the 2 and maybe pair with the Eagles, who are 7 or 7.5 point favorites. Maybe take the Eagles down to 1. I think the Giants could give Philly a game here, but I don't think the Giants are going to win this. Philly has been one of the 3 best teams in the league for most of the season. So I think if you have to do something, KC and Philly are probably a pretty good teaser pairing if you need NFL action. I think I'm going to have something on another game here in a minute. So hold off and see if you like something else I have here when we get to it here in just a couple minutes. Dallas at San Francisco. The line is -4 right now for San Francisco at home. No, I can't really back Dallas here. You never know which Dak you're going to get at quarterback here. He has multiple interception games, if 5 of his last 10 games. So he's done at least 2 picks in 5 of his last 10 games. Really good San Francisco defense. But I'm not sure Dallas's defense won't get to Purdy here a little bit. This might be the day where you see Brock Purdy come down back to earth just a little bit. I don't have any doubts he could be a good quarterback, but at some point he's going to hit a wall. He's going to hit a struggle here. And I think Dallas could be the team that can do that. I'm actually looking forward to watching this game. It could go either way, just depending on which Dak Prescott and the Dallas offense that shows up. I'm not going to have a play on either way on this game because I think it's 50-50 either way. I think it will be one of the more interesting games to watch this weekend. So that's going to leave us with Cincinnati at Buffalo, which is Sunday, a 3 or 3:30 p.m. start. I know Cincinnati has a lot of offensive line issues, but this Bengals team had a really bad problem last year with their offensive line. They still went to the Super Bowl. I don't put a ton into that Ravens game last week. Baltimore is a good defensive team. They were playing each other on back-to-back weeks in Cincinnati, so I think that was kind of expected that it was going to be a closer game. Was not really expecting a blowout there. And you look at the Bills. Bills are not playing lights out. Yes, they are winning games, but you look at the performance versus teams with no quarterback. Third-string quarterback last week versus the Dolphins. Couldn't put him away. Same thing with teams like the Jets in their division this season as well. Had trouble putting them away. Bills are a -1 in turnovers for the season. I think that's probably going to be their downfall and keep them. I don't think the Bills are going to be a Super Bowl representative of the AFC. I have to go back and see how many minus turnover margin teams have made it to the Super Bowl in recent years, but I think this is a pretty good Bengals defense as well. And about an hour ago, looking at this line again, this has moved to 6. So moving in our favor. Like I said, a Sunday game, we're getting line movement. I like the Bengals. I would lean there at +6, but I'm going to wait and watch this line and see how close we can get to 7. I think a lot of people are counting Cincinnati out because of the line issues. I'm not going to count Joe Burrow out. He seems like he's answered the bell no matter what you've thrown at him in key situations. Cincinnati has, like I said, a pretty good defense. So let's keep an eye on this. I lean Cincinnati right now at +6. If it gets to +7, probably going to be a play. It still could be a play at +6, but right now we've got over 24 hours to watch this number. So let's watch it and see which way, if it keeps trending up in our favor. So that's it for football for the weekend. Let's jump into college basketball real quick and go over a few games that I don't love anything today, but probably these are leans, personal play types. These are not games you're going to find probably on cable. You're probably going to have to get on ESPN Plus and find some of these games out. You may have this first game you might be able to find. It's an Atlantic 10 game. We got at 1 p.m. We've got UMass at St. Joseph. Last look, St. Joseph's -2, some 2.5s out there. Let's watch for UMass. Let's see if Noah Fernandez, the guard, let's see if he plays. He's questionable with an ankle injury. He's averaging 13.4 points per game. He's not practiced this week. But he's saying it's a game time decision. So let's watch and see. I did play this last night, St. Joe on the money line. But I would say you really want to watch for Fernandez. That's a big loss if he doesn't play for UMass. UMass comes in, they've lost 3 or 4, including a home loss to LaSalle and a 28-point road loss in their last outing at VCU. UMass is not a very good offensive team. They're ranked in the 300s in effective field goal percentage and 2-point field goal percentage. And UMass, 2-6 against the spread in their last 8. Go to St. Joe, back-to-back wins, including a 12-point win at LaSalle. And then they had a 31-point home win over Loyola Chicago. St. Joe, they're led by their guard, Eric Reynolds. He's averaging over 17 points a game. And then they have Cameron Brown, who's averaging 14 points per game, and he's shooting 45% from three-point range. Like I said, watch for Fernandez. I certainly lean St. Joe without Fernandez. I have already made a play, like I said, personal play on St. Joe on the money line. I made that last night. So let's watch for that. Let's watch for Fernandez. That's 1 p.m. tip-off. Next game, 2 p.m., Jacksonville State is at Stetson. Now, this line is moved from last night. It's last look, it was moved from -6 to -5 for the home team, Stetson. Stetson, that's a little long of a number right now for me. We had a really bad beat with Stetson a few nights ago where they had the ball up 1 with, 10 or 11 seconds left. They just needed to inbound the ball in front of their own bench. We had them on the money line. They were up 1 point, and they got a 5-second call in overtime with 10 or 11 seconds left. Couldn't even get the ball in, and then Kennesaw State comes down, scores off that turnover. We lose the game by 1. I didn't sleep very well that night. Crushing. You still look at Stetson. They're 6-1-1 against the spread in their last 8. Jacksonville State shooting 38% on the road and shooting about 38% over their last 5 games as well. So they're not a great offensive team. You look at Jacksonville State against the spread, 1-9 against the spread in their last 10 versus a team with a winning record. And then Jacksonville State in conference play 1-6 overall, 1-8 on the road this season. So I do like Stetson here. I would lean their way towards on the spread, but I like Stetson here as maybe a leg and a money line parlay, or tease down to -1 if you have something else you want to pair it with. You might like today. I do like Stetson to win the game. So I think as a money line parlay candidate or a teaser leg down to -1, I think it's a good team to go after. So now we need to find someone to pair them with. So let's go to 2 p.m. We've got a couple options. Let's go Delaware at Drexel. Drexel is -2, -2.5. Delaware comes in 3-4 in the conference. Drexel's 5-2. I lean Drexel here. Delaware, they've lost 3 straight on the road, 2 of those by double digits. You look at Drexel, won 5 straight at home, 4 of those by double digits. Drexel with an 8-2 home record. Delaware 2-6 on the road. And Drexel's defense, 14th best in the nation in points per game allowed at 60.3 points per game. Good defensive team. I lean Drexel, like I said. Also, I think Drexel probably a good money line candidate here to go with. Stetson looks like something we could look at. And listen, parlays, I know a lot of people like to do parlays. I don't love parlays. Sometimes you do them, pizza money, what do they call it? Beer money, whatever. But it's not anything you're going to try to get rich off of. So if you're going to do parlays, try to keep it to two teams, try to keep it to the money line, and try to get as close to even money as you can on your return. That's my strategy doing these parlays. If I'm going to do a parlay, you tease a couple teams, or you do money line parlays, and you try to get as close as you can to even money on a return. And you don't get greedy putting 3 and 4 teams together. It's just a losing venture. 2 teams is hard enough and risky enough. So you try to stay away from the 3 and 4 team parlays. But I think pairing Stetson and Drexel on the money line here gets you, when I was plugging the numbers last night, plus 145 to plus 150. So I think that's a pretty good return. It's worth a risk here. I would do a small money line parlay probably on Stetson and Drexel today. So we're talking 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. tip-off times for those 2 games. Let's go to tonight. We've got a 7 p.m. game that I'm interested in. Lafayette at Lehigh. Now, I've seen Lehigh this morning at home as a pick 'em or -1. I would lean Lehigh here. Neither team particularly solid on defense, but Lehigh on offense, they're number 10 in the nation in three-point percentage. Lehigh is also a top 100 team in effective field goal percentage. Lehigh, the better free throw shooting team than Lafayette. Now, both teams 5-0 against the spread their last 5. So this is going to be a good game, I think. But I like Lehigh at home being able to hit some threes. Computer projection models also leaning to Lehigh. So I like it when we agree on something. I will finalize those models for pick subscribers after I get off here. We got a few games to finalize. I got to go back over because one of the models is based on a percentage of bets on a particular team. And it usually takes closer to game time to finalize those to get enough bets for that model to actually have a report. So we'll, as soon as I get off here in the next 5 minutes or so, I'll go through and finalize those college basketball computer projections for model number 1 for subscribers. So I have 3 or 4 other games I'm still deciding on. I'm going to go over those here for 4 p.m. or later. I will let subscribers know about these this afternoon. If you want to become a subscriber, go, like I said, to TheCashmanwins.com. Right now, through midnight Sunday night, you can get 1 year, all sports for $49. That's less than $1 per week. You can also get a lifetime pass there for $179. That's regularly $399. You'll never have to pay again for picks. You'll get it one time, and you'll have picks for as long as I'm kicking. So, and I hope that's going to be a long time. So for today, I'm going to take Stetson and Drexel money line parlay in college basketball. It's plus 144 to plus 150. I took St. Joseph as a personal play on the money line last night. We're really watching for Fernandez here. I went ahead and played it for myself. And we want to see if Fernandez is going to play for UMass. I'm going to check on that after we get off of here. Like I said, he's been questionable and not practicing for UMass this week. Then I'm going to take Lehigh as a pick 'em versus Lafayette. Like I said, I like Lehigh's 3-point shooting in that one. These are not slam dunk plays. These are small plays. This is not a get rich schedule today where you hammer plays. You're hoping here at best to go 2-1. You get lucky and go 3-0. But you just want to try to get 2 out of 3 here. And but I think the parlay is a really good chance. I like I said, Stetson and Drexel both. And then St. Joe's playing well. Like I said, Lehigh shooting those threes at home versus Lafayette. So that'll do it for this edition. I was a little late today. I had a little technical difficulty. I don't do a lot of live broadcasting very often, so I had to get used to doing this. But we'll be back next Saturday at 11 o'clock. And then for subscribers, I'll get with you here in a little bit to finalize a few things. All right, guys, I appreciate you listening. And again, go to TheCashmanwins.com. Have a good weekend, everybody.